Pasifika women in New Zealand are almost twice as likely to die from cervical cancer compared to the rest of the population. This is according to the National Cervical Screening Program, which is organising an event this weekend in Wellington, encouraging Pasifika women to undergo cervical screening. Koroi Hawkins spoke with the program's service coordinator, Harriet Teichert.
How bad is cervical cancer among Pasifika, and why is there a disparity in the rate of incidence compared to other groups?
Figures released by the National Screening Unit in June this year showed that cervical screening rates for Pacific people are nearly 12% lower than mainstream groups. They are more likely to get cervical cancer and twice as likely to die from it compared to our European counterparts. In other words, Pacific women are 1.5 times more likely to be diagnosed with cervical cancer and approximately 2 times more likely to die from it compared to European women. So the National Cervical Screening Program targets for screening is 80% of the eligible population screened regularly. However, Pacific women are only at 57%. So we know that Pacific people face inequities and cost barriers in accessing cervical screening services as well. So to reduce those barriers, cervical screening is now free for Pacific people and also other under-screened groups as well.
I understand there's a new HPV self-test. Can you describe this and how much of a difference you hope it will make and why?
The new vaginal swab test looks for the human papillomavirus, which causes more than 95% of cervical cancers. So people can choose to do the self-test themselves in privacy, in a clinic, or at a trained health professional assisting them. The cervical sample test, previously called smear, is still available as an option and may be recommended for some other situations. But this is a much easier and more simpler way to do the test. It's like using the COVID nose swab, but it's a vaginal swab instead. So remember, it's a self swab test, so you can keep your privates private, and it's less invasive and more effective in picking up the HPV virus that causes most cancers. So with the screening campaign that was designed specifically for Pacific people, we are confident that screening rates will improve and ultimately save lives.
Where can people find out a bit more about this if they are interested?
They can find out more through the social media. There's media campaigns, also through their usual doctor or nurse at GP clinic, or one of our whole water providers or Pacific providers in women's or community health centres, outreach services like the marae or mobile health units, also at family plannings and all the sexual health clinics. But they can also visit and access services available by visiting the Time to Screen website, and that they can get that information online.